Good morning, all souls. There's some energy in the room today. Y'all feel it? I'm about to do something dumb. Because of that, I feel like we need to burn off a little juice here. So in keeping with water communion, I've never, ever done this. I just thought of it right now, which is why it's stupid. But we're going to try it. So I invite you to, well, you've already joined me in my stupidity, so you've already volunteered by being here today. So let's do the wave, okay? We're going to do the wave. We're going to start over here. Ready? And just sitting. So. And back. Yes, add sound effects. And back. Okay. Did that work? Do we need to do that again? All right. I love how weird you are. So today is water communion, the traditional Unitarian Universalist in-gathering ritual and quasi-kickoff of the church year. After this, it's for real. That means that everything before now is just practice. Of course, everything after this is also just practice. Turns out practice is pretty important. But today we start with a bit of a puzzle about water. So, the earth has no mechanism for creating or destroying water. So how is there water? Does anybody have a guess or an answer? Did someone say conversation? Oh, condensation. Well, that would depend on water already being here. Where did water come from? It came from outer space. Yeah, it's not from Earth. Water is an alien being. The brightest star in Orion's belt, which you can actually still see sometimes, is not actually a star. It's the Orion molecular cloud, a star forge 420 times as big as our solar system. In that vast smithery, there is enough water to fill all the oceans of the earth every 24 minutes. In what might be thought of as a kind of cosmic insemination, water was delivered to Mother Earth while the planet was still forming, possibly in the same collision between planet and asteroid that blew the moon into orbit. And since that time, no water has been created, added, or subtracted from this planet. So consider the water that you all hold in your hands, that you all brought or were given upon arrival. That's about 4 billion years old. It is the womb of life and effectively immortal. And so it is with deep humility that in our ceremony today we claim this water as a symbol for how our individual lives shape one another and craft a deep and resonant whole out of disparate parts. I hope we will be able to draw many implicit parallels between the function of water and that of community. Water is extraordinary for many, many, many reasons. But importantly, for our purposes as a symbol of community today, we should note that it is essentially resilient and life-giving. So you're familiar with the water cycle, right? A molecule of water that evaporates out of the cup that you're holding today will spend about 9 days floating in the sky before returning to Earth as precipitation in a cycle that is perpetual. It's never destroyed water. And the water you drink has been in the belly of a brontosaurus and the cell of a sunflower. But the water cycle should not be conceived as a standalone mechanism. It is, like all beings, part of the interdependent flow of life. It is part of something. It is part of the life cycle. So, for instance, when water falls to earth, trees drink in that water. They are, as it were, inspired by it. They are nurtured from it. And those roots and branches become so flush and lush that they begin to give water back. Through their leaves, trees give water back to the atmosphere, back to the world. Now, that giving back is called transpiration. And it is a critical part of the hydrological cycle, where trees drink water from the ground and then release it to the atmosphere, where it condenses into vaporous rivers of clouds that return the water to the earth as rain. No trees, no water. No water, no trees. And the lesson here is plain and entirely applicable to us. There is no inspiration without transpiration. You got me? We're like the trees. No inspiration without transpiration, no vision without mission, no spirit without justice. So you might think I'm mixing metaphors here. Are we water or are we trees, preacher? But my friends, from an interdependent perspective, I'm not sure there's a difference in meaning between those things. Resilient and life-giving. Water's resilience is in its connection and its interdependent flow. And as to life-giving, well, that's obvious, right? Water is obviously life-giving, but maybe we can make it the obvious wondrous. So consider one red blood cell holds 3 trillion water molecules. The water in those cells allows molecules to move back and forth, somehow keeping us and everything else that lives alive. Of course, water isn't only life-giving, for while water cleanses us of dirt and stink and sin, it can also convey disease. That said, life-giving water is itself necessarily impure. When water is cleansed of all impurities, like it is when it's used to create and clean microchips, it would kill you rather than quench your thirst. It's considered an industrial solvent, pure water is. Purity is not good for us. I mean, there's a balance to be maintained here. Let's not overcompensate, right? But it's not good for us. And communities can have a culture of enforcing purity standards, and that's dangerous, right? So from that vantage point, though, we can see that impurity is not a deficiency, it's an opportunity. It's perspective, it's pluralism, actually. It is individuality, it's delicious. It's weird. I'm looking at you. It is experience. Character is impurity. Water comes by its impurity in the same fashion as it comes by its resilience. That is, through its interdependent flow and relationships. Water is influenced by and acts as a medium for every context it comes in contact with. It's shaped by it and carries something from that relationship forward. Water is a medium for character, as is this community. And that character begets and sustains life. So does ours. Water shapes its course, even as its course gives it form, as with this community. A critical question then is, what is the container for our liquid medium of community? What shapes us as we shape it? And there's actually an answer to this question. The answer is covenant. Covenant gives us form and shapes us. The promises we make to one another gives us strength and a path. Much as water shapes its course and is in turn given form, we shape our covenant and are in turn given form. And we'll talk a lot more about covenant soon. We will invite our covenant to ensure that our resilience is life-giving, not toxic nor too pure. But today we focus on the deliciously impure liquid substance of community, symbolized by our mingled waters, waters that represent individual characters and characteristics coming together to form a unity of a kind. So this water, for instance, I'll model this, right? This water is water that I found here. There's a bottle in my office, which I think and assume was from water communions past. So this is your water. I feel hesitant to actually name what it's for, because I just got here. What's that? For continuity. And this is my water, and this is for renewal. So like that. So in your containers, look at your containers of water. Here in your containers, here in our bodies, we carry and care for a 4 billion-year-old being from outer space that has shaped all life from before life existed. You carry a tree, a forest, souls. You carry power and give it purpose. Let us be humble. Let us know the honor of this moment as we claim this being as a metaphor and sacred symbol of our community, declared in word and symbol in our water communion. What character, what word will you share to make us more whole? And with that, I invite this section over here to proceed and back and around. So much water. You know what that means, though, right? So much community. So much love and home and excitement and something that sounded like ah. So much family, humility, nature, moons. It's all here. So I'm going to do some chemistry right now, just to make sure that all the water is properly mingled. I'm just, there. Okay, this is a new thing. This is a new thing. This water is remade, a new gathering, a congregation renewed, this mixing of our perspectives and experiences and dysfunctions and inspirations. May this mingling water wear away our rough edges. May we hear its lessons of flexibility and flow. May we fashion for it a sturdy and capable course. May our bodies be sound. May our congregation be sound and flowing and flexible and powerful. May it shape us as it shapes the world. May its meaning flow through us as we use it each Sunday to declare our hope and value and method and faith. This water is blessed. It's blessed by your bringing it. It's blessed by your intention. It's blessed by the meaning with which you infuse it. This water that is so blessed is us. And so we are blessed by our congregation, by our tradition, and by each other. Please rise for the benediction as we extinguish this chalice. As we leave this place that we have created, this sacred time that we have created once again together by our mutual intention, by our covenant and promises made to one another, by the course we set and flow through together. May we do so remembering all those words, that reign of character that you heard this morning. I will bless you by flinging the water upon you as we sing our final hymn of the day, Turn the World Around.